Hello guys, this is Mike from McProgramming.org. In this video I'm going to show you how to make an array in C++, and I believe this may take a few videos because of all the things we can do with arrays, but first thing I wanted to talk about is I switched my IDE that I'll be coding into Microsoft Visual Studio. I think that after looking at it and messing with it, it'll be the easiest for me to make quick tutorials and that get to the point, compile quick. And I just want you to pay attention to the actual code itself, not so much the environment that we're working in, with whatever IDE we're working in. But I noticed that if I run code in Visual Studio, when I get this black command line looking box that gives us our output, it usually flashes it before our eyes and we can't even see the output. So if you are using Visual Studio, one thing you're going to want to put is system, and then in parentheses write a string called pause, and that will make sure that black outputted box will stay up there until we hit the enter button. But anyways, what is an array? An array is a collection of like elements. So anything, if you have a bunch of ints that are related and you wanted to keep them together somehow, what we could do is put them into an array. Instead of having to write a bunch of numbers like int num1 equals something or another, and then going through that thousands of times, that gets pretty tedious. So what we could do is just throw it all into one array. And the way we initialize an array, I'm just going to do an integer array for this particular video, and we're going to say int, and that's the type of the array, and everything that this array holds must be of that same type. We can't have ints and doubles and strings within the same array. So we're going to say int, and then we're going to give it a variable name. I'm just going to say numbers. And what makes an array is these square brackets right here. And these are very important because inside of here we're going to initialize the size. So I'm just going to say 5, and it's going to hold 5 elements. So it will make in memory space for 5 integers. And what we do now is we have to set that. So what we can do is put these curly brackets and a semicolon. And this is a perfectly legal statement, but it's not the wisest thing to do because we are not initializing any of these 5 values. So it's possible that whatever is stored inside of these memory locations is what would print out. So let's do something like this, and this will initialize every one of the values to 0. So if you need to have them initialized to 0, this is the best way to do it, and that means that every one of them will get 0. But if we wanted to initialize, or any number, so if we had 5, that would also initialize every value to 5. But if we wanted to individually initialize, we can say, let's see, 34, 56, 78, 89, 76, that's fine. So we have 5 values in here, and that initializes the first one to 34, and so on. The problem is intuitively you would think that this would be index 1, but in computer sense, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So the last spot in this array, or index, is actually the size minus 1. So let's see what happens if we print out to the screen numbers, and then to print out a particular element we put in its index. So we're going to say numbers 4, and see if we get that 76 right there. And we got a 76 right here. That's kind of ugly, so you probably want to put a inline like that, run it, and we got that 76 right there. So that shows you that, and then if we wanted to show that the first element, which is at the index 0, is 34, we get it like that. So just remember, that's very important. That's probably one of the most important points of this tutorial, is that it starts at index 0, index 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And we can also, if we initialize this array to 0, which in most cases we probably will do if we don't initialize everything at the beginning, we can set values like this. We can say numbers, let's just give the third index, and we're going to set that equal to 56, and now we can print that out. So let's do cout, and to test that the other ones are actually 0, I'll just test one of them. So I'll just say 2, and we'll do inline, and then we're going to copy and paste this so we don't have to code a lot. To copy something, at least on Windows, it's Control-C, and then to paste it is Control-V. Okay, so now let's just change this. We didn't have to code all that. Alright, so on the first line it should print out a 0. On the second line it should print out a 56. And it did. So this is the basic intro to an array. And just remember not to go, if I wanted to print out a 5, this won't work. So remember that you cannot print out bigger than the size -1. And it gave us some funky value. I don't know where that came from, but that's obviously not a value we put in, so you're going to get problems. So that is the intro to arrays, and please join me in the next tutorial, and I'll go a little bit more in depth. And please subscribe below. Thank you guys for watching.